In 1756, in a village in what is now southeastern Nigeria, a boy named Olaudah Equiano was playing near his home when he and his sister were captured by slave traders. He was about 11 years old. The men who took them tied their hands and forced them to walk for days. At night, they were locked in sheds. During the day, they were led on foot through forests and markets where people were bought and sold. In one of these markets, the siblings were separated. Equiano never saw his sister again. He was sold several times along the inland trade routes that fed the Atlantic system. Each sale robbed him of something familiar: the language, the customs, any sense of security, until he reached the coast. There, he saw the sea for the first time, and the ship that would take him away. Later, he wrote that he believed the white men intended to eat him. When he was forced to board, the stench of the hold, the chains, and the screams of the captives confirmed his terror. The Middle Passage was a floating prison. Hundreds of Africans were crammed into the hold, chained to one another, receiving only enough food and water to survive. Diseases spread rapidly. Some captives died and were thrown overboard. Others tried to starve themselves or jump into the ocean rather than endure the journey. Equiano survived weeks at sea, learning, even amidst the misery, that survival required paying attention to the sailors, listening to their language, and observing how the ship functioned. When the ship arrived in Barbados, Equiano was sold again and taken to Virginia. He was renamed Gustavus Vassa, a name imposed by an English naval officer who bought him. In the following years, Equiano served at sea and on land, learned to read and write, and witnessed the cruelty of slavery in many forms. Whippings separated families, people treated as cargo or tools. He also saw its contradictions: Christians who prayed on Sundays and trafficked human beings the rest of the week. Equiano finally achieved something rare. With much saving and negotiation, he bought his freedom in 1766. Free, but never safe from racism or re-enslavement, he traveled extensively and joined the growing abolitionist movement in Great Britain. In 1789, he published the interesting narrative of the life of Olaudah Equiano, telling his story in his own words. His book became one of the most powerful weapons against the slave trade. It gave British readers what the trade sought to erase: a human voice. Equiano did not write as a symbol, but as a man who remembered his village, his sister, the ship's hold, and the long struggle to reclaim his name. His life is a true story not because it is unique, but because it has been shared by millions, most of whom never had the chance to tell it. If you watched the video, subscribe to the channel to discover stories that could never be lived.